one thing I want to say is like, it doesn't matter where you are studying or what kind of place you're living, anything. If you have a good dreams and if your goal is focused on that dream, you will eventually reach there. So when I went to LPU, I remember like at that time, a lot of people were criticizing me for choosing a private college that too far, and nobody was so sure like what will happen to your career, because there is a saying like when you throw a stone, it will fall on top of a BTech guy's head.
Hello everyone. So today's video is going to be really, I would say, special because of multiple reasons. One of the reason is the guest today. He is from Kerala, the same state where I am from. The other reason is he also did graduation from the same university where I graduated from. So I think it's going to be a very interesting discussion between the two of us, and I would suggest you to get the maximum out of it and learn as much as possible. So let's get started. So, our guest today is very special, as I already mentioned in the introduction video earlier. So, Yasir is our guest today. So, I won't say anything. I would just allow Yasir to introduce himself. So, Yasir, the mic is over to you. The audience would like to hear it from you, who you are, and what are you currently doing.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Yasir, and I'm a Keralite, and I did my graduation from LPU Punjab. Then later I worked with TiVo in Bangalore. Then I got an offer from Zoom, and I moved to Germany. I worked there for 1 year, and right now I'm working as a software architect at Mercedes Benz. And yeah, I'm just starting my life here in Germany.
Perfect. Sounds good. Zoom and then Mercedes Benz. I mean, it's like the dream journey for a
Yeah.
engineer, right? So
Yeah.
awesome. I think this conversation is going to be really interesting, and everyone who is from the engineering background will definitely stick to this video to understand your journey, basically. So let's get started basically with your journey from LPU to Germany, and then later on we will also cover your journey from Kerala to LPU, how it happened. So let's start with your journey from LPU, how you reached LPU and what all things happened within LPU. I mean, if there are interesting stories, you can cover those. But then finally, how you landed on your first job in Germany. So we would like to hear that.
Yeah, so in LPU, like I had a lot of opportunities, good infrastructure and everything for experimenting all my crazy ideas there. So that's one of the reason I chose LPU, because there was a freedom to experiment, since it has a lot of students and a lot of facilities. So like I had a lot of opportunities to test there. So initially it was hard to know what you're passionate about or what you are really into. And like just like any other student, initial years I was just focused on enjoying the college life, chilling with your friends, traveling, and having making friends and understanding your groups and everything. So at the meantime itself, like I got to know about many technologies there, many languages and stuff like that. So I tried experimenting with many things, like for example web development, app developments, then designing some UI UX and everything. So nothing piqued my curiosity there, and I was like kind of like demotivated at that time. But for me, I know like I have to study computer science. That's like my goal from my school time, because there is a movie called Iron Man, and there is this
Mm.
AI called Jarvis, which has hugely influenced me on my journey towards this career. So then I thought, okay, how can I build that kind of AI system? And that's how this my journey begins actually. So it was like end of my first year. I thought, okay, let me try how to do that. Then I started on building that project. And to be honest, that project took like 2.5 years to get to where it is right now. So that is what gave me a lot of attractions to other companies. Like whenever a company comes for placements, like LP has a very good placement cell. So a lot of companies visited, and my project was like my highlight at that time. So every company was interested on that. They were like interviewing me and asking a lot about that project. I have also done multiple other projects, like so many other mini projects, but this was the one that changed my life, I would say. And yeah, and LPU has helped me a lot on like giving me a lot of opportunity to sit on various placement drives. Then one day I remember it was a summer vacation after the third year, in the between the fifth and sixth semester. I was at home and I got a mail from LPU saying there is a company called TiVo which is coming for placement drive, and I never heard about TiVo before. So I did a Google research on that. So it's a very old company. It's very famous in US. It's like more than 30 or 40 years old. They
Mm.
are like a monopoly in entertainment dominate that time. So they handle a lot of entertainment related data, machine learning, speech recognitions, content recommendation, everything. So it was like amazing. I was like, wow, this is what I have already doing. Like my project is based on AI and conversational AI and everything, and they are doing the same. So I was like very interested in that. So I attended the interview for the internship, and I was lucky to get it. Only few students got that internship offer from TiVo at that time, and I joined TiVo as an intern. Like my whole fourth year, like my seventh and eighth semester was completely an internship at TiVo, and it was in Bangalore. It was one of the best experience I ever had till now. And if I haven't been in TiVo, I would never reach anywhere where I am right now. So
Mm.
that's how I reached TiVo, and TiVo changed my professional life forever. That's from what I learned a lot from there. Yeah.
Awesome. So, did you mention that TiVo was your first employer where you got this extraordinary
Yes.
package from India?
At that time, it was like in 2018. That was a good package, one of the best package I would say at that time. And I was lucky to get converted to being a full-time software engineer there. I worked on
Mm.
products that's used by like more than 300 millions of users. And I got multiple US patents also from Devo. I had filed for a couple of patents and I've got it approved. And I learned like how to be a good team player, good engineer. Basically, like being a software engineer is way different than what you learn from your college. It's not just coding or just solving some problem. It's about maintaining the all systems, how you scale it up, how these millions of users can use it and stuff like that. Then after like few years, like I worked there for 4 years. Then I decided to move and like change my get into a higher ladder position. So I was applying actively for a few companies, but then I was lucky. I got an call from Zoom recruiter via LinkedIn.
Mm.
So they contacted me through LinkedIn. They asked me like if I'm free for a call and all. Then that's how the conversation began with the Zoom, and they were also recruiting for the team called real-time translation and transcription. So that was also an amazing field to work on. It's a huge problem to solve. So I was like really interested on that. Then we had like 2 to 3 months of interview, like 4 5 rounds, a lot of technical questions, problem solving, and all. Then yeah, that's how I got an offer from Zoom, and then I did a lot of salary negotiation and things like that. Then I decided to move here, and Zoom took care of everything. Like they brought me from Bangalore to here, and that's how I reached here, Germany.
Was it during the COVID time? Because I remember that during COVID time, Zoom was like in its peak, right? So everyone was using Zoom because of the remote
Uh,
meetings and
yes,
everything.
yeah. So, but I got the offer like in 2021 or like at the, yeah, or the beginning of 2022 itself. So,
Okay.
yeah, but at that time I was not particularly focusing on one particular company. I was focusing on various big players in that time, and I got multiple offers. I got offers from Facebook and Zoom,
Awesome.
and yeah, some companies from Netherlands and Austria too. So yeah, but overall, I thought Zoom's was like better offer and better team to work for, because that's what my passion lies on. So that's why I chose Zoom.
Mm. Understood. Okay, so we would also like to understand what your reaction was when you got this extraordinary package from Zoom, I believe. And yeah, basically, what was your reaction and how you handled that situation?
Yeah, the truth is like the packages are like, it's when you say package, it's not just your base salary. It has multiple components. It's not just the salary. It's
Yeah.
just it includes your base salary, it includes your insurances, it includes your RSUs or stock options, which are vested like over 4 years. So it's a bundle of things coming together, and which is
Hmm.
like, becoming a big number. But in truth, it's not like that big number you get in 1 year. It's like divided in multiple years. And another thing is like, for me, I know like what is the demand for my position or my year of experience. And thus the company's value also. If the company is good enough, like they can afford you, if you are negotiating for a higher salary, if they can, then I was confident that Zoom was good, or even Facebook, or all of them were good in that category. So I was confident to negotiate with them. And they were also in high demand to get like that skilled engineer in NLP and software engineering side and everything together. So I had an advantage there. So that's how I negotiated with them, and they offered me better deals then. So like every company, they just give you there is a band of salary package that a company can
Mm.
offer you for a particular position, and I was lucky to be in one of that top side of the band. Yeah, that's it.
Understood. Understood. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's usually that whatever package you get, that's not basically the in-hand salary you get, right? So
Yeah,
there are a lot of deductions and a lot of
yes.
yeah, vesting, as you said. Yeah, that's also part of the salary. Understood. Now let's jump back to a bit on the other side where you moved from Kerala to LPU. So we would like to know why you made such a big jump. So most of the people who are in Kerala, they don't really travel to north side for their higher education. They do it basically in Kerala or Bangalore or the southern part of the country. But why you made that decision of moving to LPU, and what were the things that yeah, you got attracted to basically?
So one thing was like it was like my I would say like personal ambition to travel a lot. I want to see a lot of things, a lot of places and all. And at that age, best option you can get is like go and study somewhere far from home so that you can cover most of the places, right? So that was one of the goal there at that age. Then another thing was like for me, I decided like I want to go into college where it has a lot of placements. It can give me a lot of opportunity to experiment on. Like I'm not like good at studies that much. I'm just an average student, like in that percentage. So I wanted to like get more chances regard even though like if I want to study or not study, I want to like do. So at that time I want to do some startups also. And LPU was like providing all this infrastructure for doing your startup. They have a dedicated team, they have their own departments who does that. And also I thought, yeah, it's a good deal, and it's in Punjab, so I can like travel there like you see in Bollywood movies and all. So for me at that age, it was like a dream. So that's how I decided to go there. And I had like other college admissions also, but like LPU's infrastructure really attracts you. Like it was like at that it's in 2014. When you see that at that time, it will blow your mind. It's so huge, so big, so much great. So at that age, any teenager would go for it. Yeah, that's how I went for it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, also a very short disclaimer to all our audience that yeah, we both are from LPU, but it's in no way advertising LPU to kind of, in any way. I mean, we are not advertising LPU at all. It's just a casual conversation, and yeah, we are
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly, like
explore.
for me, yeah, LPU has always given me what I wanted. It's not like it's true for everyone. And it's not possible for everyone to get same advantage, right? Some people will like it, some people will not like it, some people will
Yeah.
find difficult. But for me, it's how it helped me to like, direct me through a good path and all. So that's why I like it, saying good things about my college.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so then let's talk a bit about your challenges that you faced when you decided to move to Germany.
Mhm.
I see that a lot of people nowadays face this problem of the visa application and the time limit and the time delays, basically the waiting period for the visa appointments. There are a lot of things, right, which the administrative part of the whole process, which makes you feel that, okay, so did I even made the right decision of moving to Germany? Should I even be moving to Germany, or should I find another job in India? So what was your situation and how you dealt with it back then?
For me, at that time, I was also not that confident that I would get a direct job from India to Germany or any European countries and all. But I thought I will just give it a shot. I just want to see how it goes, because I was already getting multiple interviews from India, like from Bangalore itself, and packages were good. Like compared to in India, that's a good package, great package for the living expense and everything. But when I got like different interviews from European countries, especially from Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and UK, uh, it blew my mind because I never thought it was possible. And one thing I discovered is like if you have the proper skill set, if you have the right set of skills that the companies need, you will get a lot of interview calls. And that's how I utilized that opportunity a lot. And once I cracked the interviews, then most of the companies were ready to support you on this, doing all these visa procedures, whatever legal things to be done. They were ready to do that. And
Mm.
another thing, like, even though, but some companies, like for example, if you're going for a startup or any medium-sized company, they might not be having that team to support you. So you have to do it yourself. And nowadays, like, there is a lot of migration happening, getting a visa appointment or getting your visa stamped within before your joining date. Or some people have, like, I heard stories like where people have their notice period. They want to do their notice period after getting a visa, or they did a notice period, but your visa is not coming and you got delayed for your joining date. In Germany, especially, the joining date will be always on the 1st of the month or 15th of the month.
Yeah.
So you need to, like, if you don't get your visa by the 1st of the month, then you have to extend for next month, or after 15 days again. If you don't get it again, you have to extend. It's like a risky thing. But I was lucky at that time because I was in the blue card category. So blue card goes for the highly skilled
Yep.
employees. And so that's why, like, when I applied, I got my visa in under 10 days, I would say. Like, within 10 days I got it. But few others who have applied along with me have got it after like 1 month or 2 months. So it depends upon your luck also. But if you have proper documents, proper everything is clear, and your company is doing your side from the Germany itself, so everything was
Mm.
done. So that's why I thought mine was quicker and faster.
All right. So in which city did you apply for the visa? Was it in Delhi?
No, I did it in Cochin. So there is a
Ah,
VR.
okay, back in Kerala.
So I
Okay,
directly went there. Yeah.
understood. Yeah, then we would also like to know some, tips or some advices for Indian graduates who are basically trying to move to Germany after their graduation, for example. And do you have some suggestions for them, especially for the engineers, software engineers?
Yeah, so for freshers, it would be more challenging than one who is or have some experience, okay? Because all the European countries will prefer someone with more experience. That's one thing. But even though that doesn't mean you don't get it, you will get it when you have right set of skill, like I said before. So it by skill, it doesn't mean like you add a lot of keywords in your resume. It means like you have to do something that can prove you have those experience or those skills. Like for example, as a student, you can do a lot of projects, and that to some great or good project that's in demand, or that has a better future market, or that's challenging to solve. So things like that, if you do and if you add those in your resume, and then any interviewers can ask, like, okay, tell me like how you know machine learning, or what kind of approaches you did for NLP, then you can say, I built this project, it has this many challenges. You had your head burning for a few days for just for solving one small thing. So this will make you a more attractive employee for any employer, right? And that's how
Mhm.
you can, like, filter or tune your profile as every day goes, and then show it to the recruiters. Then they will definitely call you for an interview. Yeah, and always remember, so I have this policy, like, even now also, if you apply for 100 companies, only one company will revert back to you. So just keep that in mind and go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always tell people in my group as well. So I manage this Germany's calling Discord community where we have over 2,500 members right now. And most of the questions are okay. So I have been like, applying to jobs since last 5 months or 6 months, and only a couple of them are responding back to me in a positive way. So I would always suggest that, yeah, apply to as many jobs as possible because first of all, you are in India, so it's always against the usual process because you are not in Germany, right? So you basically need to understand that most of the responses will be rejections. So if you make up your mind accordingly, then you will definitely be able to last longer in terms of applying to jobs. Otherwise you will lose your hope, and yeah, you will give up basically.
Yeah, exactly. And that is true for most of the places. Like even me, like I moved to Germany in 2022, right? So, but I have started applying for jobs in 2021, early 2021, I would say. So it was like 9, 10 months of journey for me. Like I'm applying and doing interviews continuously for 10 months, I would say. And that too, like when I get big companies, like for example, Facebook interview comes, then I will need 3 months of preparation for that. When Zoom's interview came, I took like 2 months of preparation for that. In between of these 2 months, I will apply for all the other small companies also. I attend their interview as well. So it's a huge process. You have to be ready for that. You have to be prepared. And yeah, that's how it goes, right? That's how you can climb the ladder. And also for students or any other, there is something called job seeker visa and all in Germany. So
Yep.
you can come here, or you get that visa and come here and apply, or so that employers will be more happy, or you have more opportunity, then they don't have to worry about your visa and all. So yeah, there are multiple options. I think Anup will be the best to help you on that aspect.
Ah, sure. I mean, we try. It's not just me, but there are other experts as well in the community. So we try to help them with their questions. Okay, so let's move on to the other topic. So you named really a couple of really good companies. So Zoom, BMW now, right, and also a couple of other companies, Facebook as well, right? So
Yeah.
we would like to know what kind of skill set is required to get interview calls from these companies, and how do you prepare for getting into the next rounds of these companies? What
Yeah.
are the skill sets basically?
So preparation is always different for different companies or different teams you're applying. Okay, it's not like you study one thing and use that on every interview. It doesn't work like that. Second thing,
Mm,
like I said, when I started at TiVo, I was primarily working with the natural language processing, machine learning, that kind of team, and I was focused on that only. So that's how, like, when I got the Zoom's call, also the team was like NLP and machine learning basically, and most of them are like scientists with lot of research publications, PhD holders, machine learning
mm,
engineers. So I have to work with them. So when I know about the team, they are looking for NLP, they are looking for what all I did. So for example, Zoom has like more than 400 millions of users. So whatever I do at Zoom, it should reach these 400 million users, and it should not break. It should be scaling up. And also I should have a skill set that shows the engineering side of any software products. It should not crash. It should not be slow. It's all happening in real time. So whenever I'm speaking, you see the English subtitle. It should not reach you after 2 or 3 seconds. It should reach you instantaneously. So those all things I have to solve. So these all are the skill set for required for different purposes. Like maybe if you're just doing UI or website designing, you don't need all these things. You just need to know designing or creative side of that. So depends upon the team and all. And interviews mostly focus on like the general thing is like it will be data structure and algorithm. Most of the like 4 rounds will be there definitely for data structure and algorithm. In
mhm.
between this interview itself, they will talk about like what I did, what you did, and all. Then there'll be other rounds discussing more about the previous experience or your skill set and all. So that's how it goes. So for me, like for Facebook, I was preparing for 3 months because I want to brush up all my data structures knowledge. I have to solve like around 50 to 100 questions just to get used to that environment. Time myself because interviews are like just 40 or 45 minutes
Yeah.
at max, and you have to solve 2 questions, and you cannot think for like more than 20 minutes for one question. So yeah,
Mm,
that's how I prepared myself a lot. So practice, practice, practice. That's what I would say.
understood. So basically, practice more of the questions asked by these companies from the past, right? And then build
Yeah.
your skill set around it.
Yeah, and one
Understood.
tip I would say is like always keep a notebook and pen with you. Whatever you practice, whatever question you solve, just make a note of it. Just see what kind of
Mm,
tactics you used, what were the shortcuts you learned from it, so that just few days before interview you can just go through your notes and you will get an idea about it. And you will never find the
mm.
same question in interview. It will be different question, but your brain will be ready for understanding that pattern or quickly coming up with new solutions. Yeah.
Understood. Okay, so now it's been, I think, a couple of years that you are in Germany, and we would like to know what a day looks like for Yasir. So, how his day starts, and what are the activities that you do as part of your work. You don't have to name exactly the projects and things that you're working on,
Yeah.
but yeah, on a very high level. And also, what are you doing after your working hours? Are you going for some jogging and those kind of things, and your weekend activities as well?
Yeah, so right now I'm a software architect at Mercedes Benz. So architect is like kind of a more senior level position where you have to manage a lot of products, lot of technical things and all. So most of my working day is like in meetings. Like I have lot of meetings a day. So yeah, so I don't go to office every day. So I have to just go once in a week only. So when I go to office, I take some transportation there, reach there, do my meetings and all, then come back. Then usually after my working hours, I just do maybe go for a walk. Mostly I it's very beautiful here. Like walking outside is like kind of a meditation for me. Then in weekends I travel a lot. Like I travel as much as possible. Like one of the advantage of being in Germany or in Europe is like you can travel to multiple countries, um, different destinations. Even in a weekend you can go to different, like for me, like going to France is like 1.5 hours of journey. Like in 1 hour or 1.5 hours I can reach France. If I want to go to Paris, it's just 3 hours. Switzerland is like 3 hours again. So I have options to travel a lot, and as much as possible I travel as much as possible in every weekend. Then yeah, that's it. Then chilling with your friends also, and getting to know or meet new people, learn from them. Like another thing is like most of the Germans or people here are like super active in many things. It can be NGO activities, it can be some career, it
Mm.
can be like education based, it can be different. So if you meet all of them, you will learn a lot, different culture, different perspective of people. Yeah, it is nice. Like I've met a lot of astrophysicists or nuclear scientists and so many startup founders and all here, and they have broadened my perspective about a lot of things. Yeah, so yeah, that's how my usual week goes.
How do you meet these professionals? Do you go to meetups, or how do you get in front of those
Yeah,
people?
so it will be mostly through networking. Like you have a friend who knows another friend, or a person
Okay.
who knows another person. So that was one thing. Then initially I used to go to for a lot of meetups. So in meetups also I get to meet a lot of people. And we have a famous university here called KIT. It has a lot of amazing students and professors there. So from them also I get to know a lot of things. Like I was once happy to go for a Hyperloop event where they show how Hyperloops engineering was done at KIT and all. So these small things leads to big things later. So yeah, I'm just
Mhm.
happy to make a lot of connections and yeah, meeting new people.
Perfect. All right. Then, as you mentioned, your initial company was in India, right? So you worked there
Yeah,
for some time, and then you
yeah,
moved to Germany now.
yeah.
So do you see a difference in the way of working when it comes to Indian working culture and in Germany? And if so, which one do you prefer personally?
Yeah, that I can answer in two ways. One thing, first of all, there are two types of companies. One is like product-based companies and service-based companies. And
Mhm.
in India and here, both I'm working at a product-based company. So one advantage of product-based companies is like you don't have to stick to any timeline, anything. You can come at any time, you can go at any time. You have a lavish style of work culture. You have work-life balance and everything. So I was lucky to be in TiVo also, where it was all flexible and it was very nice. But if you're in service based company, it will be different. You have to come at certain time, you have to go at certain time, you have some not that good work life balance and all. So that's the category in India. But when you come to Germany, whatever company you're working on, whether it is in IT or any other department, the work life balance is like at par. Like you don't have to work more than 40 hours a day. Maybe sometimes like in Mercedes it's just 35 hours a day, sorry, 35 hours a
Mm.
week I'm
Week.
talking. And yeah, and usually one thing I notice in German, most of the Germans, they start working like at 7 a.m. Some people work at 6:30 a.m. Like in India, I'm used to like 10 or after 10 a.m. only. Okay. Like usually people
Mm.
come at 10 or 11 o'clock only. And here people starts at like 7, 6:30 and they stop their work by 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. That's it. And rest of the time they go and spend with their family. So family time is very important for everyone here. And usually we Indians ignore it. We give priority to our job, but here people give priority to their life, their relationships, their friends and everything. And job comes just a part of life. It's not like their number one priority. So you get that balance
Mm.
is now I'm used to it. Now I cannot imagine like spending 10 hours or 12 hours in your office or something like that. And in Mercedes Benz, it's illegal to work more than 10 hours a day. And it's like if you work continuously 2 days more than like 9 hours and 9 hours in 2 days in a row, it's again you will get warning. Like they will say don't work that much, you can just work 7 hours, that's it. So
Mm.
yeah, so the life is really nice here. Like you never get the pressure of working too much, you never get that kind of hectic days or anything. It's most of the time it's very chill and relaxed. Yeah, so that's what I love here.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've also experienced similar things in my last 4 years in Germany. I definitely agree with the whole thing that you mentioned, that they definitely prioritize the work-life balance here. For them, the family and their own personal time is much more important as compared to the time they spend on their job. Yeah, understood. Let's move on to the next one, which is the insights on the German job application and the interview process, because most of the people in our community, they are basically asking about, what does the process look like when it comes to applying to jobs in Germany, and how is it different from the process we have in India? So if you could shed some light on that.
Yeah. So generally, if you're applying for a tech job like software engineering position and all the other subdomains of software engineering, it will be mostly like there will be a technical round and there will be a behavioral or managerial round. So that's like a standard for everywhere. But the difference between India and here is like in India, like whichever companies I have interviewed, they mostly focus on data structures and algorithm. For it will be like
Hmm.
4 rounds or 3 rounds or 2 rounds, whatever it is, it will be data structure and algorithm, then 1 or 2 rounds for manager round, that's it. And the numbers can vary, but it's basically that's it. But here they have certain rounds for practical things, like for example solving some projects or showing your code or some personal project you have done so that they can see how you code yourself, or maybe they gave you a real time project to do on it, work on it, or they have some maybe like a open discussion like, hey, let's say, hey, something happened here, so how would you solve these kind of
Yeah.
issues, or how would you face.
Hmm.
So more like practical kind of questions will be there, and few technical like data structures and all will be like less compared to India, and more practical kind of questions. So that's an interesting thing, and that's like you don't have to worry, like if you have the knowledge, if you have the skills, then it's easy to answer those and it's not one answer, right? There can be hundreds of answer and everything is acceptable. So that's one thing I really like, and that will also help you to understand what is your team about, or how your colleagues are working, how your colleagues are thinking about problems. So you can also understand if it's a good fit for you or not, and same for them, they can also understand like if they can adapt to us, or if I'm a good team player for them. So that's
Yeah.
how the interview process happens, and yeah, that's an amazing way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the team fit round is usually something that they really care about. They really want to see if the person they are hiring is a fit for the team, right? So that's really important for them. I've personally seen that throughout the interview process that I've gone through. Yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah. Then I think another mostly asked question is about the knowledge of the German language. So we have noticed a lot that most of the companies, I mean, in the tech industry, when it comes to the IT related jobs, it's not that important. But when it comes to the non-IT related jobs, right, it's really important to know the German language. But what was your experience throughout all these processes that you have gone through in terms of the German language knowledge? And did you even learn German so far? So, what stage you are currently, if you could tell
Yeah.
that?
So German language, I would say like everyone should learn German language. It will give you a lot of advantage because first of all, like when I was coming to Germany, I was hired by Zoom. Zoom is an US company and the team is working mostly like in English only. So for me, it was not a constraint at that time because German language is not needed for the work or for communicate with your team and also it was fine for me at that time. But now when I moved to
Hmm.
Mercedes, my whole teams are like German people, and for the work purpose, you don't need German. But you know, when you want to interact with your teammates, when you are having lunch together, when you are having some social activities and all, you definitely need the German language. You need to understand it. You need to know. And apart from work, your day-to-day life, when you want to meet new people, you want to do some grocery shopping, or you want to ask in your grocery. Like I personally faced it when you want to ask, like, where can I find certain things? It's very hard to talk without knowing the
Hmm.
German language. So it will make your life way more easier. One thing, another thing is like it will give you an advantage over other candidates who are applying for the job, right? If you have a German
Hmm.
language and other candidates don't have German language, you will definitely have that upper bound for getting that chance for getting the job and all. So yeah, I would prefer to learn it, and it's better. Now I have started myself learning German language. Now I'm doing through online because I don't get any other time for going personal classes. But yeah, I'm doing an online class now, and yeah, that's my stage right now.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think at least learning the basics of the German language is really good, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, for personal reasons, communicating with people in the maybe the supermarket or maybe going to buy a medicine or those kind of things definitely needs German proficiency, at least the basic level of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk
And
about
yeah,
the
one more thing
yeah.
I want to add to
Sorry.
that point, for German language, like for example, here everything works based on appointments. Like you want to go to doctor, you have to take an appointment. You have to get your
Exactly.
internet connection, you have to take an appointment, or anything, whatever the thing, day-to-day thing. You want to call your plumber or anything, you need to take appointment. For taking appointment, you have to call somebody and talk to them, and that's where the most important factor of German language comes. You need a German language to do those things. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Once I was thinking of creating an app that can translate when you are making a phone call for making appointments, because I found it so frustrating that I didn't know German and the other person didn't know English, so it was very difficult for us to communicate.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
me,
I
like
dropped that idea because it was very difficult to build something like that.
yeah. So at that time, like when I was working in Zoom, and my team, we primarily work on real-time translations and transcription, right?
Yeah,
So what I do usually is like whenever I'm having a call, right, I will start a Zoom meeting and I will
Zoom.
start that translation side, then put the phone on the loudspeaker. And when they speak, I can see real-time translations happening. Then I will speak back to them. So that's how I survived for a few months. Then later, so
Awesome.
things.
That's a good hack. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. All right, let's talk about the salary negotiation skills that you have acquired so far, because definitely see that you have got some skills to kind of, negotiate the salaries uh,
Yeah.
with big companies, for example, Zoom and your current company as well. So, would you like to share something about how to go about it and how to do the market research and what all things a person should consider before talking about the salaries with the HR?
Yeah, for salary, yeah, first then most important thing is you have to do a lot of research. So research is just like one thing is like regarding the location where you are going to work, what kind of role it is, what is the seniority level and everything. Do a basic research. You will find a lot of basic research like from sites like Glassdoor, Levels, Fi.in. So many websites are there. Find a basic range of that particular location. That's one important thing. Second thing, find about the company. If the company can afford you to pay whatever, you have a number in your mind. If that company is in that, they have that much funding or they're like big or small. So you have to do that research also. And another thing, like go to Glassdoor or some website like and see like what is the current employees working there are getting. And you will get a bandwidth. You will never get a number, but you will get a range of like it's between
Mm.
10 K or something like that. Okay. So you will get a range of that. So have those kinds in your mind, then have a general understanding of your skills and your capability, and what does your peers of same year of experience and all get from in other companies. For example, if you are in a location like Berlin, there are a lot of tech companies in Berlin. So just understand what are the other companies are providing and everything. So once you have this idea, have a bandwidth on your mind. Let's say you have a bandwidth of like, okay, I'm okay if I get a salary between 70 to 80K per year or something like that. And when the HR is offering you something below 70, then you can negotiate, or you can say like based on your research or this thing, and you have this many skill set and all, you need this kind of salary. So you can start negotiating in that way. Another thing is like if you're confident on your skills and if you know that you're actually needed by the team and the team really likes you,
Mhm.
one thing is like no companies don't want to lose you after doing all this interview, because it's waste of their time, their resources and their money. So they also kind of want to take you, that then only they will come to the negotiation side, right? So you have to take advantage of that also. Like don't go like too high or too much out of your bound, because nobody can pay you beyond the bandwidth they have already allocated for that particular role. So you can get an idea by doing this small kind of negotiation with the HR. We can find that range band and try to go for the upper bound initially. Then they will come down to some number. Then yeah, once you're comfortable with that, yeah, you can fix for that. And for me, like negotiating with the Mercedes Benz, like I did like I had like around 3 or 4 rounds of call just for negotiations. Yeah. So yeah, sometimes
Mm.
it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Yeah, sometimes it's a risk, like if you ask too much, because I even had an experience like it was an Austrian based company, and the negotiation when I did, so that was like kind of my initial time when I was doing negotiation. and they were not able to, they revoked my offer because they were not able to afford it at that time. So that was my bad, because I have asked them too much, which was like way out of their bandwidth. And so yeah,
Understood.
that's why I did trial and error method in a lot of companies, and that's how I reached here on like finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, as you mentioned, right? So you should always do the research before you speak a number, and
Yeah,
always be flexible in terms of, what you have asked for and what the HR or the
yeah.
company is willing to pay, and then
Yeah.
try to negotiate there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't be stubborn. Yeah, we cannot be stubborn also. Like if we want certain number, and if the companies they don't have that much allocation, then you cannot be stubborn on that number. You have to be flexible also. You have to understand, like, they no companies can pay you more than your colleagues, like the future colleagues you're going to work. So
exactly.
it's always kind of a normalization, and also, yeah, so that will also happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I think a lot of gyan, lot of knowledge sharing has been already done. So we would like to know what is your long-term career aspirations and what do you want to be in the next 5 years or 10 years? It sounds more like a HR interview or a interview with a company, but we would also like to understand, right? So Yasir, who is currently working with a very reputed company in Germany, what are the next things that you want to try in his future career?
Yeah, for me, like right now, I'm in a very happy place because I'm working for a company that I was in love with since my childhood time. Okay, like it's like Mercedes Benz is a brand like I aspect when my childhood time. So for me, I really want to be, doing more for this company. Like I have to build some more products, more things that helps the company, helps the users and everyone. So right now I'm for next 4 5 years and all, I'm focusing on just building my skill set here, because it's not just one thing I'm doing, I'm doing a lot of things here. So it's a huge pool of skills I'm going to gather from here. So yeah, next 5 years I'm focusing on that. And maybe in future I'm not sure like how it goes, but yeah, I have some other big plans. So yeah, hopefully it goes good. Then yeah, I hope you all will get to know. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome.
And one thing I want to say to all the students also, like I follow this thing of like seeing yourself in next 3 to 5 years. So always visualize yourself like where you want to be next 3 to 5 years. And yeah, and focus your goals towards that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So finally, we would also like to hear some lessons that you have learned throughout the whole journey, starting from Kerala to reaching LPU and then finding your first job and then moving to Germany and now working here, right? So what are the lessons that you learned? Maybe 3 or 5 lessons, and then also some advices for
Mhm.
everyone, not just the students, but also people who are aspiring to move to Germany on a job seeker visa, maybe, or trying to find a job directly from India. So, what are your suggestions there?
Yeah, so it's a lot to think about. Yeah, one thing I want to tell everyone, or one thing that was very true for me was, I had big dreams. Okay, like I come from a very average family. It's middle class. We live in a village, and yeah, I had some exposure in, like, my parents were like working in abroad, so I had some exposure there also. But overall, just like any typical Indian family, we were like in that place. But I had a big dreams. Okay, I always wanted to do big things, do bigger achievements, or go for work for a big company or do something big. So I always was in that vibe for me. And once one thing I want to say is, like, it doesn't matter where you are studying or what kind of place you're living, anything. If you have a good dreams, and if your goal is focused on that dream, you will eventually reach there. So when I went to LPU, I remember, like, at that time, a lot of people were criticizing me for choosing a private college that too far, and nobody was so sure like what will happen to your career, because there is a saying like when you throw a stone, it will fall on top of a BTech guy's head. So we used to say there is like
Definitely.
a lot of beta guys, what will you do with your life? What will happen? There was a lot of pressure and all. And for me, I was never worried about that. For me, like, I don't want to be a guy who is just doing a BTech and get a job. I just want to be a guy who is working for this particular group of companies. So that was my goal. My goal is like I want to work in that group of company. It doesn't matter where I study or where I come, where I go, and nothing. So I built a journey just towards that dream. I focused on that and I reached that. And it's true for me. It's true for many of my friends, many of people I know who come from various backgrounds, and we all are in like kind of in same level right now. So yeah, have a good dream and work towards that. That's the one thing I learned a lot. Another thing is like regarding your education, your marks don't matter. Okay, maybe you all know, but it doesn't matter at all. Nobody is going to ask about your marks or your thing. So don't waste your whole life on studying, or getting 100 out of 100. Just study enough, spend remaining time on building your skills, building your social skills, your career skills, your interpersonal communications. This all are also matter. It's equally as important as getting your bachelor's degree or master's degree. You need to know how to communicate with different types of people. You need to know how to understand how different problem solving skills. So all this matters a lot. So you should spend time for understanding that also. Then have good passions or hobbies and everything, and just experiment on everything. Yeah, that's one thing I missed in my life a lot, because I always was like focusing on studies, and until I was getting into my college I was like focused on that. I didn't had much extracurricular activities. Then once I reached LPU, I discovered that it doesn't matter if you get 10 CGPA every time. If you get, I was like in a band. Okay, I have like every semester I have CGPAs of like uh 7, 6, 8, 9. I even got 10. So I was in all the bands. I have been through all this cycle. So I know that it doesn't matter. You have to enjoy your life also, and this will give you a lot of good skills in your future life, in your career. Like imagine like if you're so introverted and you are in a team where your introversion is not that acceptable for the team. So there are scenarios that happen, because I remember like one of my friend, his company, they rejected a candidate because the candidate is so good, he knows everything, but he's not a social person. So that can be a reason to reject you, right? So yeah, that all matters. Yeah, so have
Understood.
fun, explore everything. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, learning is important, but having fun is also important, right? So you shouldn't be someone who is just working to get more marks every time, because marks doesn't really matter towards the end of your, towards the starting of your career even, right? So your career starts mainly because of your soft skills, hard skills, and not because of your
Yeah,
marks that you obtained in your education.
exactly.
Definitely. Perfect. All right. So Yasir, I think it's towards the end of the conversation, and it was really nice and really enjoyable discussion. I must say that. And I already mentioned, I mean, we both are from the same university, and we both are from the same state as well, Kerala. So I definitely see, we talking to each other even in the future. And yeah, we would like to probably invite you again for another conversation once you have more interesting things in your career. Yeah, so I hope you can also start, you can also maybe contribute to the community that I have built and help other Indians who are planning their move to Germany, if you're interested. Definitely.
Yeah,
So
definitely, definitely. And yeah, it is amazing like getting to know you. And it was surprising me like we are from Kerala and we are like alumni of LPU. And yeah, and the work you're doing, your team and your team is very amazing. And the community you have built is like very impressive. Yeah. And I definitely love to be a part of that too. Yeah.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the feedback and yeah, everything. So I think, yeah, that's it. So see you soon and enjoy your rest of the evening today.
Yeah. Thank you, Anup. Yeah, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
And